Hello everybody and welcome back. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to deal with negative people, particularly negative people who are going to be, maybe making fun of you or saying things that are bad about you when you're learning English. So this was actually a topic that came up in our last meetup in New York City this past Saturday. Somebody had mentioned to me that they felt really badly because a colleague, somebody they worked with, was constantly making fun of them for their accent and how they spoke and the vocabulary that they chose to use. And this person had come to me and asked me, well, what can I do about this? How can I get along better with this person? How can I deal with the fact that certain people are making fun of me about my accent and my pronunciation and my vocabulary use? Well, today we're going to talk about some ways in which you can deal with that. Now, I have two really important things that you can do, and also I want to also focus on things that maybe you should not do when you are dealing with these people so that you're not making the relationship any worse than it already is. So the first tip that I'm going to have for you, and depending on how close you are to this person, how close you work to this person, this may or may not be an easy thing to do. But you're going to want to limit your contact with this person and make it as minimal as possible. So, for example, if you see this person 2 hours a day, when you're playing sports after work, or you're on the same volleyball team or basketball team, and they're a teammate of yours, you're playing with them. Try to limit your contact with them to maybe 1 or 2 minutes. I mean, that's pretty easy. But if you're working with them every day, and they're a part of your team, and you're with them 8 hours a day, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to avoid them. But what you can do, again, is just minimize the contact. So if you know that you're going to be with them from the hours of, let's say, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you can minimize your contact with that person by talking to other members of your team, asking general questions to the whole group, and not focusing in on this one person. So the less time that you actually spend with this person, the less of a chance they're going to have to get on your case about your language. So surround yourself more with the people who you trust and who you like at your work, and try to minimize that contact with the people who are making life harder for you. So that would be the number one thing. The second thing, if you absolutely cannot avoid the person and you must be with them all hours of the day, and it's really bothering you that they are choosing to make fun of your accent, then you're going to want to talk to this person. And one way in which you can do that is to very politely, after work is over or during lunch break, you want to take this person to a place where it's just going to be you and them. It's going to be nice and private, and you just have a discussion with them. You say, "Excuse me, but what you're doing and what you're saying, it's really bothering me. I really don't like how you're talking to me right now, and I really would appreciate it if you could maybe take a different approach with me." So obviously this is for people who are going to be a lot more involved in your day-to-day activities. But if it's something that isn't being resolved on its own and you need to do something, you're going to want to talk to this person one-on-one and try to resolve it that way. Be polite as possible. Don't be confrontational about it. Don't say things that are going to potentially get feelings hurt, which is going to cause an escalation. You don't want that because next thing you know, management is going to get involved unnecessarily, and then you're going to have a really big problem where there doesn't need to be one. So my advice is that if you can solve the problem on your own, just between the two of you, that would be the preferred way to do it. Now, what about things that we should not do in our conversations with people who are bothering us? As I said before, the one thing that you don't want to do is get in the person's face and be confrontational and start insulting them back and telling them how much of a bad person they are, because all that's going to do is make things worse. It's going to make them angrier at you, and that may start a verbal fight. And next thing you know, the whole office knows about it. what's going on between you guys, and that's not fun. You don't want that in your life. So whatever you do, just be respectful. Even if the other person is not being respectful to you, you want to take the higher road, and you want to be respectful to them at all times, so you don't make things any worse than they already are. Another thing that you shouldn't do, and I've talked about this before in videos with getting along with teams, is you don't want to start gossip about this person. So you don't want to go tell your friends and the people who you are close to at work that, oh, this person said this, aren't they such a horrible person? Because word will then get around, and it may even get back to the person who you're talking about, and that could cause a lot of problems. And again, you don't want any additional problems in your life other than what's already there. So try to avoid gossip as well. And the last thing that I would like to say, and this is when everything else has not worked. You've tried minimizing contact with them, that hasn't worked. You've tried speaking with them privately one-on-one, that hasn't worked. The last thing that you should do, but it may be the most effective if nothing else has worked, is reach out to your human resources department and just report that this has been happening. This person has been saying things just about my language ability that I'm just not comfortable with, and I'd like to try and get a resolution to this. Again, that's not the first thing that you should do. That should be the last thing after you've exhausted all other avenues. So I really want to make that clear. But again, reach out to your human resources director or manager. Let them know what's been going on, and hopefully they can help you come to some kind of solution on that. So I hope that you found these tips helpful for you, and in case you do encounter a problem, hopefully you don't. Hopefully all of your relationships at work are really good, and it's smooth sailing for you. But in case it isn't, I hope that this has been helpful for you. And again, we will see you in the next video. Take care and enjoy your day.